my name is Robert Gamboa. I'm originally from Texas. I now live in Los Angeles, California. I use he, him, his pronouns. I am HIV positive, I'm openly in recovery, and I'm a proud gay man. In West Texas, in a city called Lubbock, which is a pretty small town that most people hadn't even heard of. And I grew up in a fairly rigid machismo Latino family. Me and my twin brother Albert were the youngest of our family. There were 7 of us. So you had to be this type of thing. And my twin brother Albert and I, we were not that role. We remember at one point, my mom sat Albert and I down and she said, if you're gay, you're going to hell. And so when my mom told us that, we didn't know what it meant exactly. I knew through going to church, we were a very Catholic family. So I knew going to church that hell was a bad thing. So what that did was sort of instill this fear in us that we couldn't be who we believed or felt we were. With me, and I get a call from my brother Michael. And he just screamed at the top of his lungs, like, how dare you be gay? How dare you do this to the family? How dare you, he interrogated my nephews to see if I'd ever molested them, and told me I couldn't be around my nephews. And it was just the most horrible conversation I ever had in my life, right? It was just devastating to me. And I cried and cried and cried. And I didn't know what to do. And at the end of it, he said, I'm going to tell mom and dad, right? So I knew I had to tell my mom and dad because I didn't want them to hear just his side of the story. And so I called my mom, and that was the second worst conversation I ever had in my life. And I told her what happened. And she was very upset and crying and the stuff like, oh, what did I go wrong as a mother? What could I have done to make sure this doesn't happen? I was like, there's nothing you could have done. But at the end of that conversation, I asked her, do you think I should still come home for Christmas? And she said no. And to me, that was like the nail in the coffin. It was very painful. I fell into that entire realm of crystal meth addiction, and I became HIV positive. I was beaten up, I was raped, I was homeless, I was like all of those things that are attendant with addiction. And by this point I was living here in Los Angeles, and I had, become this very empty soul of a person, and I didn't even want to live anymore. And so my HIV doctor, I was in the hospital a lot, and I got arrested several times since I was in the jail a lot. And these were the times where I was thinking, like, I don't want to be, I can't do this anymore. And so my doctor said, hey, Robert, if you keep going the way you're going, you've got 6 months to live. And at that point, I thought, this is great. I'm going to ride this out. It's awesome, right? This is what I wanted to happen. And the next month, the judge said, hey, Robert, if you get arrested one more time, you're going to prison for 3 years. And I thought, this is also great, right? How bad must things have to be if death in prison look pretty good, right? Months later, in November of 2009, my mom and my dad and my brother Tony, my brother Albert came here to LA to sort of see what had become of me. I was so deep in my addiction at this point, and I was borderline AIDS by this point because I wasn't taking care of my HIV. And so they came to see what had become of me, and they said, we love you, right? And this was sort of that pivotal moment, I guess, where they said, we love you and we want to help you, but this is all we can do for you, right, as your family. And so I guess it took those 3 things to finally hit me, my life, my freedom, and my family, for me to finally say I want to live, right? And this was a big decision that I had to make. And I knew in making it, I had to let go of my addiction. Just don't be afraid, right? We are so built into a world of fear, and they try to make us be more fearful, right? I don't want to be afraid of having brown skin. I don't want to be afraid of being gay. I don't want to be afraid of being HIV positive or a man in recovery. Like, I just have to be strong for me so that I can help other people, right?